Let's talk about this with Alp Mehmet, Chairman of Migration Watch UK. Very good morning to you, Alp.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Alp, I mean, why do you think that the Home Secretary has decided not to give us a timetable or a date?
Simple, because she's not going to be able to do it. That's why. Keir Starmer, in his not a reset speech, effectively said that. He may as well have said it. He said, I'm not going to give you a target or a date because you'll notice when I fail and you'll only keep on about it.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. It wasn't one of his six milestones deliberately because he didn't want to set himself up like Rishi Sunak with his stop the boats. But it was really interesting. And asked about this yesterday, Yvette Cooper repeatedly said in an interview, she said, look, I don't think that the public want us to set these arbitrary deadlines, these arbitrary numbers. Well, exactly. I just thought, no, what we don't want is politicians to set them and then fail to deliver on them.
Exactly. I smash the gangs. Frankly, it's more of a sham than a smash. Yeah. They've done nothing of the sort, and they're not going to do anything like that. The gangs won't be smashed. And what they haven't said, I mean, they've been trumpeting the fact that they've sent 13,400 or whatever it is back. What they haven't said is that the vast majority of those, probably around 70%, are voluntary, for goodness sake. They want to go back to their own countries.
They're getting a flight back for Christmas, some of them.
Well, not only are they getting a flight back for Christmas, but they're getting £3,000 each, a lot of them. We know that 609 Brazilians were sent back in the summer, including children. They all got £3,000 each. That's nearly £2 million, for goodness sake. If 70% of the 13,400 were to be given £3,000 each, and we should be told, frankly, if they were, that's about £30 million.
Wow. And basically that is just a bribe. It's literally, can you get on the plane without us having to drag you kicking and screaming and peeing?
It is a bribe because they want to go back anyway. But if they hang out and say, well, I'm not going to go unless you give me the money, they say, well, here we are. Here's £3,000.
It is absolutely extraordinary, I think, to most people. You might argue, oh, well, if they refuse and they did the appeals, it would cost us more. I don't care. It's the principle of the darn thing that matters, isn't it? I mean, this is it. Well, we know that the Tories lost complete control over this. Labour lost control of it before the Tories. Tories lost control of it. Labour, I don't know anyone who thinks that the Labour Party has either the will or the means to actually deliver on this issue at all.
Well, they certainly haven't given any indication yet that they have the wherewithal to do it. They haven't got a clue, frankly. That's why numbers are, even in December, shooting up, as they often do. But 35,000 people already crossed the channel. We don't know how many of those that have been returned were actually cross-channelers, those who've come illegally. Many of them will have been offenders of one form or another.
Well, I think Yvette Cooper also mentioned, I think a lot of these people are people who've overstayed their visas. But another thing she was asked, they arrived legally and then they've started working, they've overstayed on a student visa or a tourist visa. So what was really interesting, actually, is she was asked, do you have any numbers, I think by Trevor Phillips on Sky, do you have any numbers for how many people are here illegally? And he quoted a figure that has been suggested around 1 million. I believe it's actually thought to be by you guys rather more than that, and that was about 10 years ago, the million figure.
Definitely is more than that.
But she said, well, we don't know, and we have no way of knowing. I think this is one of the things that a lot of people find extraordinary. You have to have your passport, checked and stamped. Most people have passports that they're the e-passports now. People, you should know who's in the country and who's not in the country. How do we not know that there are 1 million plus people in this country who aren't allowed to be here?
Well, because the check at the border now, which is as often as not done by a machine, simply establishes that you are the individual that is there on the passport. Your photo is the right one. When you go through, all that happens when your passport is checked by electronically is that, yes, this is indeed Julia Hartley-Brewer, and she is the rightful holder of this passport. There's no permission given to come in as such.
They can't have a note in, so someone who arrives...
More importantly, Julia, there's no record kept.
No, exactly.
That's the whole thing.
That's the thing, is I don't understand in this modern day and age why they can't have a record so that, whoever it is, John Smith arrives, you come in this country, and he's got a stamp, he's allowed to be here for 3 months, that there isn't someone that automatically flags up after 3 months, and if at that point he's going in and out, or he's flagged up anywhere at any point, that he's not instantly picked up. I don't understand when we are constantly... We're having to provide ID all the time. People have, bank cards, which are, linked to their... You have to show ID at your bank. Why? There seems to be joined-up thinking when we don't want it, and no joined-up thinking when we do want it.
Well, we used to do that, frankly. Many years ago, we did record people who were coming in on limited leave, someone who was coming in for... to work, someone who was coming in to study. That was recorded, and when they left, then they completed a little embarkation card, and the information there was married up with the information when they entered. That isn't happening anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of basics. It's absolutely basic stuff. It is quite extraordinary. Yeah, well, I've got no hopes that things are going to improve on that front. I don't think you have either. Alp Mehmet, though, you've been fantastic at Migration Watch UK from bringing this issue to the fore. You and I have been talking about this stuff for a heck of a long time, longer than Yvette Cooper has, that's for sure.